Good morning, class. Today we'll be learning about evaluating algebraic expressions. Okay, let's start with a review of what we learned last week. Here are some terms that we have learned to start. To evaluate means to find the value. A numerical expression is a mathematical phrase or a math sentence that does not have an equal sign. It only uses numbers and operational symbols. This term is new to us. An algebraic expression is an expression that has at least one variable. Often we see the variable x used. However, it can be any letter. We will talk about this more later on in the lesson. Now let's talk about the order of operations. The order of operations tell us what order we should follow when evaluating a numerical expression. Here we can see the difference between an equation and an expression. You can see here that an equation has an equal sign. Let's quickly review the order of operations. First, we know that we start when evaluating an expression with the parentheses. Then we move on to the exponents. Then we look if we can multiply or divide in any area. Remember, we move from left to right. After this, we add or subtract. And again, we move from left to right. If the expression is missing any of these steps, we skip it and we move on to the next step. Let's look at this example. I see 2 times 5 minus 1. By using PEMDAS, or the order of operations, remember, PEMDAS is a quick way to remember the order of operations in which we operate an expression. We know that we must do the parentheses first. Now, I don't see any exponents, so I know that our next step is to multiply. And I don't see any division, addition, or subtraction. So that means that this expression equals 8. So, is the order of operations really important? Yes. Let's see what happens when we don't follow the order of operations. So here we can see 10 minus 2 plus 3. Now let's forget about the parentheses and all of that, and let's just move from left to right doing the problem. So we're going to do 10 minus 2 plus 3. Well, we know that 10 minus 2 is 8, and 8 plus 3 is 11. Now let's compare that to when we use the order of operations. So I see that there's a parenthesis, so I'm going to do that first. So 2 plus 3 is 5. And now, is there any exponents? No. No more multiplication. But there is subtraction. So 10 minus 5 is 5. But Miss Wood, what is the order of operation and why is there an order of operating? Well, if you see here, we get different answers if you do not follow the order of operations. So it's always important to follow it. Okay, now that we're done with our review, let's start on our lesson about algebraic expressions. Let's first talk about codes for a few minutes. What is a code? Do any of you know or use any codes? The first code I can think of is maybe your locker combination, but sometimes we need to plug in a certain number to finish our codes. Let's think of algebraic expressions as solving codes. Remember, an algebraic expression is an expression that has at least one variable. An example of this would be x plus 41. So in this, the variable that we're trying to find is x. The variable in this expression is x. Let's look at our example and see if we can solve the expression. The directions are telling us that x now equals 7. So here, let's think of our code and put 7 in for x. Now our expression reads 7 plus 41, which equals 48. Algebraic expressions can have more than one variable in them. Let's solve for this example together. In the a as 3 and the d as 1. So let's rewrite this. So a is 3, so 3 plus 2, and d is 1, times 1 plus 9. So let's think of PEMDAS right now. Remember PEMDAS? So we know that the P equals parentheses. So there's 2 parentheses, so let's do that first. So 3 plus 2 is 5. And 9 plus 1 is 10. Now, do you see any exponents? No. Do you see any multiplication? Yes. So 5 times 10 is 50. So the answer to this expression is 50. Awesome. Let's move along. Expressions may also come in word form. Remember to pay attention to keywords and to the order. So let's look at a list of our keywords just to jog our memory. And you guys also have a printout of this. So some addition words that we might see in mathematical sentences are all together and combined, sum, total. Some subtraction words are minus, reduce, take away, fewer, difference. Multiplication words might be double, each group, increase by, product, twice. And division words might be cut up, half, parts, quotient, and share something equally. So let's go back to our notes. Let's look at the examples. The first example reads, subtract the product of 6 and 8 from 10. So do we remember what product means? We know product refers to multiplication and subtract refers to subtraction. And from also refers to subtractions. So we can write that as 100 minus 6 times 8. Let's look at our next expression. It looks like this expression is our new friend, the algebraic expression. The example reads, the sum of a number and 5. I see the words sum and 5. To write this, we would write n, but we could use any letter, remember, as our variable, plus 5. So here we write n plus 5. Now that we're done with our notes, we are going to play our game. So here's our game. It's who wants to be a hundredaire or millionaire. Okay, so first I'm going to go over some rules. I will begin the game and then I will call on the names using our index cards for who will go next. The rules are simple. You will read the question to the class and then you will talk through your problem solving to us and choose your answer. We will then vote as a class to see if we agree with your answer choice. I will begin, and Becca, you are on deck to follow. Let's see what the question says. So the question says, the sum of a number and 5. Well, I see the word sum and the word and. So already I'm thinking addition. Do I see any expressions here that have addition? Oh, I do. Class, do we think that this is the final answer? Yes? Okay, let's see. We won $10. Okay, Becca, it's your turn. So let's come back together as a group and discuss our next activity. I'm going to break you off into pairs and give you your daily worksheet. Please complete this in your pair. We will do the first one together now. Let's read the directions. Evaluate the following expression for x equals 6. Let's see, number 1. We see x equals 6, so we can do 7 times, what does x equal? 6. 7 times 6. Kevin, do you want to answer that? Times 6 is, Kevin, 42. Awesome. Okay, now let's get into our pairs and break off. After you're done, please check in with me and I will give you your exit ticket. You can work on your exit ticket until class is over, or if we run out of time, you're able to do this for homework.